The knock wasn't loud, it was measured, almost polite. But when I opened the door, 3 officers stood there, hands near their holsters. "Sir, we need you to step outside." I could still hear her voice echoing down the hall, shrill, cracking under manufactured tears. "He hit me! Look at me!" She emerged behind them, clutching her robe like a wounded saint. Fake bruises blooming across her skin. The kind you could buy in a theater supply store. I knew because I'd found the receipt in the trash 2 days ago. One officer's eyes narrowed at me. "We're placing you under arrest." I didn't argue. I didn't plead. I only reached for my wallet. "Let me show you something." My ID slid into his hand. His eyes dropped to it. Then his jaw set. The blood drained from his face. He turned toward her. "Ma'am," he said slowly, "do you realize who your husband is?" Confusion clouded her expression. "What does that matter?" The officer shook his head. But I didn't smile. I'd been waiting for this moment for months. It began with a scent. Cologne I didn't own, lingering in our sheets when I came home early one Tuesday. She laughed it off, claimed it was the hotel from her girls' weekend. I nodded, said nothing. But something in her eyes flickered, a quiet warning. Don't dig. So I didn't, not right away. I let the suspicion settle like a slow poison. Then came the late-night texts she turned away from, the hushed calls on the balcony, her growing habit of locking the bathroom door when she showered. I'd seen infidelity before, friends, colleagues, but this was my wife. And still, I said nothing, because a part of me wanted to see how far she'd go. I started keeping my own hours, quietly, let her think she was winning whatever game she thought she was playing. I copied her phone data to a hidden drive, pulled call logs, cross-referenced numbers. There was one that repeated, always at night, a man named Carter. I didn't confront her, I simply listened. I tracked her yoga retreats to a motel 30 miles away. She booked the same room every time, paid cash. Still, I played the role of oblivious husband. Dinners, small talk, even laughter when required, because anger is noisy, and I needed silence. I took photos, dates, times. The digital ledger of her betrayal grew in my safe like a rot I cultivated deliberately. Then I went further. DNA from her wine glass, a hair from his jacket when he left her car one night. I sent them to a lab I trusted more than the police. The results would be my weapon. The envelope came on a Thursday morning. Thin, unremarkable. But inside, confirmation. The affair wasn't casual. It had been years. The kicker, Carter wasn't just her lover. He was my subordinate. The betrayal doubled back on itself, sharper than I'd imagined. That night, I set the report in front of her on the kitchen table. No words. She scanned it, her face drained. "Where did you—" "Doesn't matter," I said. She stammered, reached for explanations that collapsed before they reached her tongue. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't have to. I could have divorced her quietly, let the courts chew her up. But quiet wouldn't teach her anything. So I waited. I let her keep playing perfect wife while I documented everything. Bank transfers, emails, photos. I built a file thick enough to bury her reputation. Then, her mistake. She called 911, claimed I'd beaten her. A last, desperate play for leverage. When the officers came, I gave them my ID, the one that identified me not as her husband, but as the lead investigator for the district attorney's office, the man who trains officers in spotting false domestic claims. The room shifted instantly. Her lies unraveled before she could stitch another. The officers walked her out instead. I watched from the doorway as they led her to the cruiser. No shouting, no struggle, just the slow walk of someone realizing the game is over. She glanced back once, maybe hoping for mercy. I gave her nothing, because mercy is for the innocent. Inside, the kitchen was still. The file sat on the table, a neat tombstone over the life I'd pretended to have. I didn't feel grief, just clarity. Betrayal isn't the moment someone turns against you. It's the moment you stop pretending they haven't. And that moment had passed months ago.